Hi, I'm Robin Boyce for City Corner. We've got a lot of good things to talk about on this episode, a girls' night out, and some great economic justice coming to the St. Louis community. Come on back. Welcome back to this episode of City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce, and in the studios with me today is Miss Darlene Soul, who is CEO, and Miss Alice Davis Wiley, who is Director of Teen Programs for Neighborhood Houses. How you doing, ladies?
Good.
Great. So glad to have you both here with us today to talk more about neighborhood houses and what this great organization is about. I got an opportunity to meet Alice a couple of weeks ago with the Girls' Night Out, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And I walk into this amazing organization, and I meet all these wonderful people, and I'm like, wow, the community needs to know more about what you're doing out here. So tell us more, CEO of the organization, what Neighborhood Houses does.
Well, Robin, thanks so much for having us today. Neighborhood Houses has been serving the community since 1913. We are going on 105 years of serving children and youth in the community. What we have focused on are three main initiatives, and I call them our continuum of care. We start with the early childhood education program at Caroline Mission, where you were.
Yes.
And we serve children there from 6 weeks to 5 years of age. We make sure those children are ready for kindergarten. Our staff are prepared with additional training to make sure that we have lesson plans, creative play, and opportunities for these children to grow, explore new things to make sure they are ready for school.
It's a really big facility, and wow, all of it looked like it was a well-oiled machine. People were very busy. Everybody was designated. The kids were, hey, having a good time. It really looked like a great place for a child, a great environment for a little baby.
Thank you. It is. Caroline Mission is a special place, and we actually also focus on families and make sure that parent engagement opportunities happen for young families as well. We do financial literacy.
Excellent.
Healthy cooking classes, how to de-stress, because if the home environment is stressful, it usually shows up in the little kids.
Yeah,
and our staff know each and every parent that walks through that door. And so they are able to coach and counsel and help those families to thrive.
So it's like coming into a family place, and you all become family to the young people that come in there that need the help with reference to daycare or learning how to be a better parent, et cetera.
Absolutely.
Et cetera.
We are here to support and help those families thrive.
And some of the other things that the organization does.
Our largest program is actually our school-age services program. We are in 18 schools, elementary schools in the city and county. University City, Ferguson Florissant, Riverview Gardens, and St. Louis Public Schools. We have the opportunity to serve up to 1,200 children every day. My staff actually go into the schools from in the beginning of the day for before care to make sure that they get a healthy meal so that they're ready to learn. And then after school, those hours are identified as critical hours.
Yes, they are.
And that's when bad things can happen to good kids.
Between 3 and 6?
Yes.
Or is that the magic
You've
time?
got it.
Yeah.
You've got it.
Yeah.
That's when children are prone to bullying or become bullies. They may get involved with gangs, and it is also the time where teen pregnancies occur. So for us, we provide a safe, nurturing environment where homework assistance is provided. They get a hot meal every day. We do some literacy activities, physical fitness and nutrition, and we have a program called Conscious Discipline, and that actually is something that provides behavior modification and help children to self-regulate. So if they are in an uncomfortable situation or a threatening situation, they know how to control themselves. And I tell my staff,
It's so important.
I tell my staff every day that what we're teaching 8 and 9-year-olds 10 years from now could save their life.
I know a lot of adults who could have probably taken advantage that, you deal with and you see act out in certain kinds of ways, and it's kind of like, well, it would really be nice if we could have some workshops, or we could send them somewhere to help them learn how to deal just a little bit better. And you can see it in people. It's nothing toward you, but they should have had some kind of training or some help and being able to express themselves. And so you're doing that for the babies early, which is great.
Right. And we've had teachers make comments in the day program, say, what did you do with Johnny? He is doing a whole lot better during the day. And they're exhibiting these behaviors and techniques that they learn. And we've had parents make comments about it, grandparents make comments about it. And so it's a really vital part of what we do with elementary school children.
So we definitely have organizations out here that are developing young people, helping to grow families and make a better community. Which is awesome for what you do. Now, you've got one more thing that you all do?
Yes, our final continuum of care is focusing on teens, and that's where Alice is our director and has done a wonderful job with teen moms, as well as we are addressing the needs of young African American high school students who are young men. I've got to stop saying boys. And teaching them the skills that they need to survive and to be prepared for the future. And I'll let Alice tell you about those two programs.
I came to an event that you call Girls Night Out.
Yes.
Please tell me more about
it. Absolutely. So the first thing I need to tell you is that name is changing.
Okay.
It's going to be more reflective of what we're actually providing for the young women, which is career development, character development. We're going to work with them on those soft skills. So the new name is Girls Moving Up.
I love it. That's awesome.
So we want to give them those skills that they need to not only gain that possible first job, but keep it, excel, and then to make sure that they go off to college or into a trade. And so we're going to provide them with that career readiness. It's year round. It would take place at the location where you went to visit, which is South City at Caroline Mission.
Yes.
And it will be on the second Saturday of the month for approximately 4 hours or so a day.
Now, is this a referral situation?
Yes.
Can anybody join or what?
Yes. So as long as the young person is between the age of 16 and 18, they do need to be in high school and apply. There is an application process. We will review that, interview them, and here's what happens at the end of the program. They will be employed with neighborhood houses as long as they successfully complete the program, and they will know what those requirements are at the very beginning. And then we will employ them part-time during the summer at one of our summer camp sites.
Awesome. That's a great incentive.
Yes, it is.
To come and get into a program and learn some skill sets and learn what an individual was supposed to do as an adult person.
Absolutely.
Now, the program I came to, they were teenage moms.
Yes.
And oh my God. The pretty little babies and the babies with the babies. I was like, I wondered what organizations were available to help young women who are just in this crunch here. They've had this little person and they're looking at this baby and they're going, oh my God. And the young ladies, they were just they seemed to have it together.
Yes.
They really did. And this was the graduation program. So
correct.
What did you do and how long is that program to work with those girls? They seem so ready to do the right thing.
So the program is traditionally year-long. I will say that the group that, the graduation ceremony that you attended, they started in January. So at the end, you were able to see where they are or where they were at that point, and they've shown significant growth. I'm so excited with just seeing how they're working together. I know some didn't quite work together very well at the beginning, but toward the end, even ones that may not have enjoyed getting up and speaking or engaging with the group, they're now engaging. We had one young woman who was very, very shy at the beginning, and she stood up at the graduation and spoke.
That young lady was shy?
Well,
you would think.
As far as speaking in public, like, in a group setting, she's really fine one-on-one. But you notice how she was a little bit nervous, and that's okay, because that was the first time that she actually stood up and spoke.
Really?
So yes, absolutely. And
Really?
with that, yes, that was the
They
first
did so
time.
well. I mean, I saw some nurses in there.
Uh-huh.
I saw some future doctors.
Absolutely.
I saw some teachers. I saw their eyes just
Yes.
kind of went, okay, you
Yes.
know, and,
Yes.
and I don't know if the speech I gave was any kind of enlightenment or
think it
help
did. I
help
think it
take them
did.
to another level.
Yes.
But
And I do want to let you know, though, that the new program is for any young woman, regardless of parenting status. Absolutely. It's because just think about it, the career planning, the soft skills, resume writing, the dress for success, every young woman needs that. And so we definitely want to make sure we're open for all young women. But if the young woman does have a child, we will have child care available there. So,
okay, great. Okay, yeah, you do have daycare that's available.
Absolutely.
That's always so important when putting on programs like that. Is,
Absolutely.
And I get that question asked a lot when I'm putting on functions.
Yes.
Is there somewhere for my baby to go?
Right.
Blah,
Yes.
blah, 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 blah. That's
Very
so
important. Yes.
for the baby to go.
And Caroline Mission is a perfect setting for that.
Yeah, and I think it's a wonderful organization, what they've been able to do over there. So is the atmosphere and the environment what it is that you want, Darlene, for anyone who comes through there that needs help?
Well, I would like to spend a couple of minutes, Robin, telling you about Magnificent Creations.
Yes.
And
Okay.
that is the program for teen men.
Yes.
And they are in high school, and it is a social enterprise. They actually silk screen T-shirts.
Oh,
and that's
yes.
what's back here that we're
Okay.
showing.
These
Yes.
are absolutely beautiful.
So young men 18 or 16 to 18 have created those, and that is under the leadership of Alice. And we actually have a shop, and we take all types of orders: sororities, fraternities, churches, other
Oh, yes,
nonprofits.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so that is available, and those young men are learning job skills as well as character education skills.
Are they
Yes.
enjoying putting the T-shirts together? And,
Absolutely.
you know, do they feel like
Absolutely.
they could see making $1 here? Because
Uh-huh.
it's
They-
always about that with teens when I talk with them. I want to
Right.
make some
Yes.
money. I want to
Yes,
make
they
some
do.
money.
Yes, they
Okay,
do.
great.
And they understand how important it is. What they're doing affects the organization as a whole as well. And so we talk about this all the time. Quality is so very important. They understand that. So,
This is great.
But what I really want you to make sure that everybody knows is that we have openings for both the Young Women's Program and the Young Men's Program. We're
Okay.
recruiting right now.
All right,
So,
we're going to put it up on the screen, and I
Yes.
want to thank you ladies so much. That time went so fast. I
Thank
could just sit here and
you.
talk with you all for another half hour. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you
welcome.
both for coming in and talking with us about neighborhood houses and the great things that you're doing over there. Hey, hit them right away for these T-shirts. These are kind of, they really are very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will be right back with some more information on the Heartland St. Louis Chamber of Commerce.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires. When they test you, stand firm and move only when you hear the seatbelt click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
And welcome back to City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce, and in the studio with me right now is Mr. Marvin Steele. And Mr. Steele is now president of the Heartland St. Louis Black Chamber of Commerce. How are you today, Mr. Steele?
Robin, I am just fine.
It's so good to see
Fine.
you.
And let me say this, it's an honor to be here with you.
Oh, come
You
on
do
now.
a great work in this community.
Thank you.
And it's
Thank
very
you.
important work.
Thank you.
Getting
Thank
our
you.
message out in a wonderful way. We
just
thank you for that.
It's constant.
Really
I mean,
do.
we have so much good stuff going
Yes.
on.
Yes.
Somebody needs to talk about it.
Yes.
So I take advantage of situations like this, these kind of platforms, just
Mm-hmm.
to get the information out there. I had a wonderful opportunity, probably it was late spring, when the Heartland St. Louis Black Chamber of Commerce had an opening kind of a
Yes.
ceremony, an introduction to the community. Tell us more about your organization.
Well, let me say this at the very outset. We're on a serious mission. We know the value of our businesses and what they mean. We know we've got some systemic problems in our city, many of which sometimes I don't think we realize can be solved by us if we had the economic position to do that.
Right.
So our fight is to raise the level of our black businesses in this town and get them access to capital, get them access to themselves, other businesses doing business with each other, and then of course doing business with the broader community. It's critically important. It's important for our schools, it's important for our overall community, it's important for our housing. It will make a difference. You know, we often refer to St. Louis, you know, it's common to say a black business community, but we really have not in our town over the past 20 years developed a real sense of community in our businesses. You know, when you go to Atlanta, you know, there's a business community there, you know what it means. You feel that in Chicago, you feel that even in Detroit,
Yes, you
even
do.
with its suffering.
Yes.
But in St. Louis, we have a multitude of businesses. In fact, I'll tell you something that most people are often surprised to hear. If you take the top 50 cities in this country, St. Louis ranks about third in terms of black businesses.
Really?
Yes. But then if you look at the economics of those businesses, we drop down to the low 40s. And I think that that's because we don't work together and we don't have
Okay.
that sense of business community.
Okay.
So part of our mission, in addition to the very specific things like getting access to capital, getting some more education in terms of how to handle your back room in your business and all that, part of the mission is just to bring us together, to know each other, to know what we're doing, to have some sense that we are a community that can rise together and be a real advocate for our businesses. And one of our is our key.
Right.
Because some of that direction as we do that will come from our businesses once we can pull them together.
That's
And
awesome.
we are working very hard at that.
Will you all be advocating, for example, on a legislative level as well, and talking with aldermen and talking with the capital in Jefferson City with state representatives and senators there, as well as the federal government, with reference to helping to smooth that process for individuals to get access to the dollars, to be able to move into situations a lot smoother than they have in the past?
Sure, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I should make it very clear that the Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce is part of the Kansas City Black Chamber of Commerce.
Oh,
and the
very good.
Wichita, Kansas Black Chamber of Commerce. And we are affiliated with the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. So we have a real working group of people. I should mention this too. We came together, this process started about 3 years ago, but we really became a board and became active about 12 months ago, actually. But Vita,
What made you all get together? I
well,
mean,
that's
you know,
what
yeah, Vita
that's what I want to
Jeffries
get
has
at.
been the
Vita
person.
Jeffries, who works for the state of Missouri in the government, in the governor's office in charge of community engagement. Vita, this was kind of her brainchild, or at least the sense that there was a need for it.
Right.
Really started with her, and she started diligently working and talking to people and organizing and doing all of those things that you need to birth an organization. And she's worked tirelessly at it, and she's done a wonderful job. And she brought
Most
a bunch of us
definitely.
together.
Yes, she did.
And said, hey, this makes sense. Why don't we do it? We had a bunch of different meetings, and we finally said, yes, let's make this happen. So we
Okay.
have a couple of people on our board from Lewis and Rice. We have a executive vice president for diversity from Monsanto is on our board. Midwest Banks person sits on our board. So we've got a strong board. Kwame
Okay.
is on our board. So we've got a strong and good and active board as well.
And they're about the business of really turning some things around here in the St. Louis area, because it's been, you know, from the perspective of a consumer's point of view and wanting to celebrate and support our businesses, it's been kind of a stall. I would say it's like things just stopped or something.
Well, we don't have the visual impact that we should. Okay. People don't know where we are, don't know that we exist, don't know this business doesn't know that business. In my own personal business, I'll sidetrack just for a second to say this. Mm-hmm. In my business, I have a particular function. We do blood chemistries and drug screening for individuals, and I send people out to do that. But not to make a long story of it, but a young lady I met, that's all she does. She has a phlebotomy service. And once I realized that, I was able to bring her on with me, partner with her, help grow her business, grow my business. And had we not met together, knew each other, developed a community together, you don't get those kind of opportunities.
Right.
But if you work at it, that's what happens.
That's what it's all about, is linking and networking and pulling individuals together. It's like in St. Louis, the missing link is, say, for example, South Street in Philadelphia, or Deep Ellum in Dallas, or I'm just trying to think of some major Melrose in Los Angeles, some places that I've been and seen. You got all these businesses, whether it be restaurants, whether it be a cleaners, whether they be a boutique or something like that. The closest thing that I can remember, and it wasn't all black because you had a lot of Jewish businesses up and down the street, was Eastern Avenue.
Eastern Avenue.
Okay,
Eastern
that
Avenue.
was the street.
Eastern Avenue. That
was the
Which
spot.
later, for you all that don't know, Martin Luther King.
Right, Martin Luther King Boulevard.
That's the same street.
Today. Yeah, I mean, it was constantly moving all the time. You had furniture stores, you had fish markets, you had tire places. Some of those places are still there.
Sure.
They're kind of like in their own little oases and islands right now. But will we ever see that kind of business happening again in the black community?
Robin, one of our board members, Alex Vanoy, who is Executive Vice President with Midwest Bank, got his bank to partner with Friendly Temple.
Yes.
And put a branch bank there on formerly Eastern Avenue, Martin Luther King.
Yes.
And Friendly Temple doing some tremendous building there in that community. And I think and I'm on Midwest Bank's advisory board.
Okay.
And I think that when I first heard about it and we talked about it, my feeling was, I grew up on Marcus, right around the corner from Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Remember all that you talked about?
Yes.
And I thought, this will never happen again, but it's beginning to happen.
So you see it there. That's Martin Luther King between Union and Goodfellow.
Yes.
That's all it's developed.
Yes.
It's great.
It's really happening.
Yes.
And everything that we can do as a advocacy group to support that, we are doing. Alex is on our board. We are doing that, and we'll do it. But we've got to spread the word. We have to find a place to let people know this is going on, this is what's happening. And I think that the Chamber, that's our major effort, is to do that.
Great. Will the Chamber hold workshops for businesses that probably need to know how to market their business a lot better, or teach people how to put a decent business plan together to, say, walk into a bank and sit down and talk with folks? Will there be workshops and conferences to help people? We
are starting an initiative to partner with St. Louis Community College.
Excellent.
At their facility on Cass Avenue, right across from Fashawn.
The Harrison Education Center.
Exactly. And we want to have essentially an entrepreneurial institute there in combination with the community college and with Slate to really begin to teach those things about marketing and backroom organizations that our businesses need to grow.
They need to really understand what it takes to build a business. In teaching business classes or entrepreneurial classes, I find that people think that it's just enough to open a door. No. There's a lot that goes through it.
It's not. And we have businesses in our town that are, say, mid-level businesses that they kind of know what they're doing in terms of a business, but they also need access to capital.
Yes.
Because if you are able to do that, we can scale up at a level that I think is unexpected from our community. But we really have a lot of strong individuals here, strong businesses, that once we're able to pull them together and they can get access to capital and also contracts with larger companies and major firms, we can really make a difference, and that will make a difference.
It will. It will definitely make a difference. I think the biggest thing that people refuse to look at or not really embrace like they should when they start looking at the issues that we're having in the city right now with reference to crime, folks shooting each other, black on black crime, et cetera, blah, 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 blah. We really feel, there's the group of us in the community feel if we had jobs, if we had businesses that were developing, say for example, just take Natural Bridge at Goodfellow, go straight to 70. You took an area over there and got a business to come in here to put widgets together, pieces of plastic things or whatever. 3 shifts, 1,000 people, nice, a decent wage, there would be a big, huge difference in this town.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
It would just make a difference.
But a lot of that, if we have the training and if we have the capital, we can do a lot of that for ourselves.
Yes.
A lot of it for ourselves. And as we do that, there's no one's attitude about their community better than the attitude you have about your own community.
That's right. That's
and
right.
once we get to that point and we're able to get to that critical mass, things will change because the pressure to have a better education, a better community comes from us, not from the outside.
Exactly.
Not from the outside.
If we don't grow it, then who's going to grow it?
Who's going to grow it?
Who's going to
Who's
grow
gonna
it?
grow it?
So I know it's going to make a really big difference, and I hope that there's more that we see coming from Heartland. I know that you all have worked really hard, and you have very busy schedules, but you've all decided to come together and encompass the situation and try to do something about it.
Well, we're going to start a series of workshops and meetings, not only to educate, but also to listen. We want to bring our business together and talk about each other, meet with each other, and talk about what do we really need in St. Louis, and we're the advocates to make that happen. But we need to hear from our community what their needs are.
Our people in St. Louis, Missouri, whether it be white, black, Asian, or Hispanic, really like supporting good businesses. And I can see on down the line something really growing to make a difference here in the St. Louis area where you have like a Grand Avenue situation happening. So I'm sure that we will see more of that coming from the Heartland St. Louis Black Chamber of
You
Commerce.
absolutely will.
And I thank you so much for coming on the show to
Robin,
talk with
thank
us
you.
today. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
We appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. And I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to City Corner. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.